everyone. My name is Andres Diaz. Me and Will are back today for another spectacular episode of What If. And of course, this is episode 7. What's the title of this episode? I guess Thor Parties Art.
I think it was What If Thor Was an Only Child?
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be funny to say like Thor uh, house party or something like that. Or Midgard party. Uh, I guess first impressions, about episode 7 of What If. What you thought about this one?
Oh man.
We're going down. We're going down, right?
Yeah, it did not. This was dumb. I feel like a problem that I'm having with What If is I feel like I'm approaching it and wanting it to have like the standards of a Marvel movie or what the Disney Plus shows have been.
Yeah.
And like if this was an episode of like a children's cartoon, I'd be like, oh, that's fun, and I'd move on.
Yeah.
But since it's like Marvel Studios content, I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, we got 2 more episodes. I was like,
Yeah, it looks like we're about to start like bringing all of these storylines together, which could be interesting.
yeah,
But whenever, man, I don't even know if there's like, definitely whenever the show tries to do humor, it doesn't land for me.
no. I
Which again, with this guy writing Miss Marvel, that's a bad sign because that's a funny character. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, I think this is the most like uninspired idea of a what if. Like,
yeah,
how he thought about this idea? Like, I think that like I like the idea of seeing Thor without Loki as a brother is an actual idea, but just the execution of it
yeah,
in this episode was just really 180 degree. I never thought they're gonna take. Just oh, okay, what if he's on trial and this is what he's gonna be is this irresponsible kid. And it's like, well, he wasn't irresponsible in the first Thor film. He was just like arrogant and like
yeah. He was impulsive. Um, I don't know. I guess I get like the characterization of Thor for this. I don't buy literally every other cosmic character being in on the party.
yes, that's true.
It felt like, oh man, wouldn't it be funny if this guy showed up? And they just like crammed every character they could into this episode doing something stupid. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Um, uh, yeah. I mean, this was. I mean, it was just weird. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of like it really felt like a filler episode. Really,
Yeah, a little bit.
like,
Yeah.
because at least the other ones, at least the what ifs were interesting. I mean, for at least what they were doing. Um,
Yeah. They had like there was a story that they went with after the what if concept. And I don't know, this one
yeah, this
I
one
don't know.
was
Is they came up with a good concept and then just kind of didn't come up with a story for it.
no,
Man, and like uh there's a line that Coulson says at one point. He's like, the party energy is like spreading worldwide or something, and they have like a map with like pockets of party energy. I was like, what? Like if it was a children's cartoon,
yeah,
I'd be like, yeah, that's fun. That's amusing. But when it's like canon to the MCU. That's just dumb as hell, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there were other things that did bother me. I think the I just think this one I I feel like it was like what if Thor Ragnarok was so unfunny, and this is how unfunny.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of reminded me of like someone trying to do what the Team Thor, like one shot, like did like the DVD extra, where like
Yes,
Thor's like living in Australia with a roommate. It's like someone trying to get that kind of Taika Waititi humor, but they don't really know how to do it. But this is their like failed attempt for half an hour. And also it's canon. Like,
yeah,
ugh.
yeah, canon in such a weird way. I guess. I feel like I think for me, I think it was the wrong approach to put this in MCU. I think this should have been like a non MCU connection show. Like,
Yeah, I would have preferred if they weren't pitching this as like this is the multiverse that Loki created, because I don't want to see any of these in the films.
no, no.
I want this to be separate.
Well,
Um,
well. For me, there's a few exceptions that I do want to see in the live action ones. Um, I do want to see a darker doppelganger, Doctor Strange. I think
okay.
that character had like a lot of potential
Yeah,
because
I will say like, and I've been saying this since that episode aired. That episode was good.
yes,
That one can stay.
yes, that one can stay. And I like we never had like an evil doppelganger of a hero like Bizarro or like a reverse Flash type of Marvel character for in these films. So,
Yeah, although we have had a lot of basically just the character but evil as
oh
villains. But this is the first one where it's like actually like literally an evil copy of.
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah, yeah. I understand what you're saying. You know,
yeah,
Ironmonger is like the pull-ups of Iron Man
right.
and
Yeah,
yeah, I get it. And Abomination as well. I know. Ugh.
there's so many, like literally every franchise.
Yeah.
But
Well, this. I mean, I don't want to. We can go to tangent because I don't like this episode, and I, I have a. I wish Marvel can just take like a different character and just put it in the film and not pick the obvious one that's like connected to the character, like the polar opposite of that, because that's something you do later on, not like the first film. I, I
yeah, I and it's really frustrating that like the first movie of every franchise has to be superhero against evil person with same superpowers.
yes,
I was really glad that they didn't do that with Spider-Man, even though like the only Spider-Man villains that have the same powers are the symbiotes, and it's
yeah,
hard to start off a franchise with those. But
yeah,
um,
it's true.
still,
Yeah,
like it was really nice to have Vulture and not just evil Spider-Man.
yeah,
Um,
and Mysterio, and
yeah, yeah. I mean, Spider-Man has the best villains for
yeah.
Marvel.
Oh man,
Um,
I agree. He has the best rose battery.
yeah.
After or in your guys' opinion, Batman's
Yeah, I'd say Batman and
Spider-Man.
I think it would go Batman, Spider-Man, and the Flash for me in
Ooh,
terms of villains.
I agree. I love that.
Yeah.
All that.
But I'm trying to think of like other franchises. Shang-Chi had the same powers as his dad.
Yeah.
Black Widow
Well,
fought a bunch of other Black Widows. Um,
yeah.
let's see.
Let's
Iron Man, Ironmonger, Captain America, and Red Skull took the same serum.
yeah.
Hulk and Abomination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Thor, Loki.
Thor and Loki is the exception.
Really? Okay. I'm curious.
I like they have similar backstories, obviously, because they're brothers, but
Right.
they do have different power sets. So it's not like
Oh, yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Thor is more like like he's a bronze character. Like he's a bronze. Like
yeah. He's like a big like brawny fighter, and he's got lightning powers, and then
Loki's.
Loki's like very nimble, and he does like illusion magic.
He's a trickster, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, trickster. Yeah.
he's the trickster. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Um.
Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket,
Little Jackets.
who in the comics are the exact same character. Um, oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I moved it up, so it shouldn't happen. Um,
Yeah.
what other franchises? Black Panther and
Yeah. Killmonger.
Killmonger literally had the same powers
Towards the
and
end.
the same suit.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
Um. I guess Captain Marvel. Can we even consider Captain Marvel's villains the same? Yeah.
I don't remember Captain Marvel's villains.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, considering she was fighting, she fought Marvel in that movie, right? That was the villain who was the original Captain Marvel. They had different powers, though.
Yeah, the different powers. Yeah.
All right, I'll give Captain Marvel that one.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing about Captain Marvel, they should have done that because they do have Marvel, but like Marvel wasn't the villain. It was like it was a astral projection in the supreme intelligence. And,
Right.
Yeah, and
I forgot about that.
yeah, and so and the villains are really the Kree, which I mean well, and then the scrolls. That's the weird thing about it. It's like you got scrolls, Kree, and supreme intelligence. You got three major cosmic villains. And I was like, I guess that's different. I mean, you got Guardians, Rowan. What about that one? Like,
ooh, yeah, Guardians, another exception.
Yeah. So
all right, so we got Thor and Guardians. Those are the two franchises where they didn't do that because Doctor Strange had another sorcerer. Dormammu was cool though.
Yeah.
Man. But it wasn't like the main villain. He just kind of showed up later.
Yeah. That one was weird for me. Like, I don't know why they didn't do like him as the main villain. Like, I like the.
I think they were setting him up as like the overarching. Like, I'm hoping he shows up in all three Doctor Strange movies if they do a trilogy.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. The villain's name is.
Yeah. Yes. They need to get better about it, but I don't think they will.
No, they're somewhat getting better at it. I mean, we got Steamo back, so I mean, they're at least apparently taking who's like popular and like who is not.
Yeah, but it's still not like.
Yeah,
man, even like the Disney Plus shows, like Loki didn't do it, but
right.
WandaVision she fought an evil witch and an evil copy of Vision.
Oh my god. Yes.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they fought evil Captain America.
Literally both evil Captain Americas in that same show. Yes. That's so true. And like if we consider this like an Iron Man tie-in, we had like another like higher like corporate, behind person,
Mm-hmm.
And also the 10 Rings are coming back, so
yeah. I don't know. I think the villains tend to like not have this problem in the sequels to these movies, except for Iron Man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and Thor. Don't forget about Thor.
Yeah, no, I'm the ones that didn't do it the first time didn't do it later times too.
Yeah.
So Thor, Guardians, and Captain Marvel were safe.
Yeah.
But
it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we can get into like um the episode 7
Yeah.
about.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's nothing much about this episode. I like that's the thing
Yeah.
that was so shocking. It's like, okay, we got the Thor.
There's yeah.
Yeah, like I
There's a
said,
lot of fun like nods to stuff, but
yeah. Um, okay, I guess we can go into this. Like, what was your what was the thing that you liked? Like, what was the funny moment you liked from this episode? I'm curious.
uh I don't know if I laughed at any of them. I guess I like having Seth Green come back as Howard the Duck.
Mm.
That's always fun. Just because, like, I don't know, like he was such a, um, it felt like it was a big surprise when he showed up in the end credits for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
And like I'm a big fan of Seth Green, so I was like, ah, cool, like he's involved. As Howard the Duck, which is a character that I never expected to see in the MCU, at least not like as early as we saw him.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I mean, he was like the first Marvel character they put on screen, so
true.
it was. I mean, like really set to respect that.
Yeah.
You know, like it was the first step. You know, yes, they didn't get it right, but I mean, hey, you know,
Yeah.
it's happening. You know, it's not like DC where they had the televisions first before the big cinematic movie. You know, like before Superman the movie. You know, we had the George Reeves show,
Mm-hmm.
and then '89, Batman. Of course, that was right after the Batman of Anna West '60 show.
Yeah.
And then of course Wonder Woman. Of course, the last major. Her live action one was the Lenny Carter show. So the Marvel was like usually the cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, except with the Incredible Hulk, like that was like the one thing they got. So
Right.
So sorry about that. Okay, so like it was like an amusing moment for me, like as a DC fan. So speaking of DC,
Mm-hmm.
and speaking of Superman the movie, towards the end of the episode, or like getting to like the third act, Thor, fixing stuff around the world was kind of amusing. The moment when Thor went to what is this? When he goes
Pizza?
to Paris.
Okay.
Italy. You know the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that moment was my.
That was a
favorite.
good joke. Yeah.
Yes. That's from Superman 3. Oh my god, that made me chuckle in my mind. I was like, oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's really it.
I did like seeing Loki as a frost giant.
Yes.
But that was cool. Yeah, because that was something that I always like wanted to see, or like in the Loki TV show with like all the different variants. I think it'd be cool if they showed like him just like full frost giant.
Yeah.
I liked the design where like his goat horn helmet was or his ram horn helmet was made of ice. That was good.
Yes, that was a good detail. Yeah, I really like. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I kind of surprised they didn't do that in Loki TV series.
Yeah.
Maybe now we like how you look in this What If. Maybe they have like a better visual idea how you can be in live action. So
Yeah. Oh, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, because the one we saw one in Loki, and it was okay design. He was kind of like he was blue, and then he had like the traditional Loki wardrobe, but like could not tell what colors it was, but it looked like gray, black with gold, something like that.
Are you talking about the one where he was kind of like hulked out?
Oh no. In the hologram we saw like a frost giant Loki variant before, like.
We did.
Yeah, in episode 2 of Loki, the TV show series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember that one.
see, that's the thing. I actually like this. I like this appearance over the one in the live action one, actually, because he didn't look like a Frost. I mean, he just had blue skin. That's it.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just him, but
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here it's kind of funny how the what if just like, oh, this is how he could look like as a frost giant.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think this could possibly happen now that they have a better visual. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, Marvel is, we were speaking to villains. I don't know. We never talk about like. Hopefully, we can make this a discussion like of comic accurate costumes and like the wardrobe of these characters were, because I 8 out of 10, like they're like hit and miss. I mean, no disrespect with the art department people that work in these films, but I just always feel like they always miscalculate sometimes for these characters. Like Malekith is a good example of that. Like he has an awful design and Dark World and like in the concept art he looked way better, and it's like and Doctor Strange with like the Celits, they look much better in the concept art than in the movies. It's just it's just
I think especially like earlier Marvel stuff, they were afraid of going full comic book.
Yeah.
Um,
well, except with Loki. See.
Yeah, I Loki and Red Skull, I think, were the best like villain designs that they've had.
Yeah. Well, I will somewhat disagree with you, Will, because sometimes they are afraid, which is true, but then other times they did it because they think of a radical design that is not with the character sometimes, like because apparently Scarecrow in Batman Begins was not supposed to have his mask, and it seems like David Escobar like explain like the mask has a purpose, and so if you leave out the mask or everything that's so iconic with this character, then he's just a blank character to look at, and unfortunately that's what happens sometimes with Marvel. Like you have to look at the Abomination. I know his scale things are kind of weird with Abomination, but like it looks kind of cool. And then with the version we got in '08, for Shang-Chi, he just looked like a dwarf. Or
yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of funny looking back at that, and then Shang-Chi is like, wow, the science is totally different now. But I don't know. It's one of those odd things. But yeah, but speaking of costumes, I mean, to kind of like wrap these things up, like let's talk about the ending, because I think that was more for me the like what was it, like pause and on moment, seeing Ultron, and like that for me was more like that was the episode I wanted to see than this episode.
Yeah, and I think we're getting that.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that design was cool with Ultron with like the Vision body inside a suit of armor.
Yes.
And all the Infinity Gems.
Yes.
Infinity Stones, they're called now.
Yeah. I saw you there.
Reverted back to 2012 for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. And when he opened his the top, it looked like Galactus a little bit.
Yeah, it did kind of.
Yeah, so that was kind of cute. Cute, actually cool. Cute,
very cute Ultron.
Yeah, cute Ultron. Yeah. So that was totally funny. Yeah, because next week we'll like I saw like the Guardians of the Multiverse. Like,
okay,
I think that's kind of cool to see these different versions of the characters that we have seen so far. We had Captain Carter and uh, Supreme Strange, and of course Killmonger, and then we got this Thor here, and then who else do we have like an alternate? Like what if?
We haven't seen the Gamora that's been in all the promos yet.
Oh yes. I'm curious. Maybe the next episode because I don't know if like are we gonna do like one more episode, like a one more standalone episode that sets up this the stinger the stinger we got, and then episode 9 is like the culmination. You know, like
Yeah, I think that would make the most sense.
right?
Although it'd be kind of weird for the watcher to be like, "Oh, this shouldn't be happening."
Yeah.
Anyway, here's Gamora.
I
But
want him to
I,
do that just to be this meta thing. Oh yeah. But before we get through that, like that'd be the best gag ever in a Marvel movie or show. Yes. Yeah. Oh, and Star Lord T'Challa. That
right.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I am happy that Chadwick Boseman was able to do so many of these. You know, like we don't have to say goodbye to him for another 2 weeks.
I'm not ready for that. Oh my god.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I forgot about it. It was like, oh wait, he's been here like 2 times, right? Like he was in last week's episode, and then he was in the zombies one.
he's been in 3.
Yeah, and his like centric episode as well. I was talking the last 3 episodes we saw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't miss the solo. I just like he's here in 3, which includes his solo thing, which is cool. But yeah, but yeah, I'm very at least we're grateful that he did more and can cherish it for more years to come. You know.
hmm
Yeah, so I'm very curious about how's that gonna fit in, like that, and it'd be kind of funny if they just forgot about Gamora and like we're going from a different direction. Like I don't know, like it's because like Howard the Duck was in the posters, right? Like
hmm
yeah, so I don't know. We'll
You
see.
think he'll become one of the Guardians of the Multiverse?
Yes, I mean we saw him a couple of times, and he was
Yeah.
a major star in the Star Lord T'Challa episode, so that could happen. So
hmm
and you know I think animation makes more sense with Howard the Duck because you know
Yeah, it'd be hard to have him have like a big role live action. Um,
yeah.
and not. Well, I mean, if you could do it with Rocket,
Huh? I
I don't know.
guess I don't know. Like I guess like I think you can do what the movie failed to do is like to be like an actual comedy sci-fi,
hmm
just a straightforward sci-fi comedy like Galaxy Quest or Pull or yeah, Puff
hmm
Push, like in that level. Then this bizarre hush hush sci-fi superhero horror comedy that film was. And I think the bare bones of it is just a sci-fi comedy. That makes sense for how it was. I also thought he could be great as a Guardians member. I was like, it makes sense for him to be a Guardians member. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah, but no, that still
yeah,
hasn't happened. So he's
yeah.
gonna,
I keep wanting them to get Cosmo to actually like talk and do stuff in those movies.
yeah, I, yeah, it's. I feel like because I think out of the characters we've got so far in terms of adaptations of Marvel comics, I think the Guardians is like the most like drastically different
hmm
depictions and any
Yeah,
Marvel characters I've seen so far, and like it
yeah.
makes sense. So and I and you know despite they're based on the Earth, like the 2008 run, they
hmm
stray away from it completely. Like I'm surprised they haven't done an analysis quest storyline. Like
hmm
I think that would be a great like it could have been a potential great Guardians film, but it's not the way Gon or his vision of these characters are, and so it
Yeah,
makes sense.
maybe after Gunn does his like trilogy, they'll do something like that. But
Hmm, that's true. Um, I mean, it could be good with other characters. I mean, I think it'd be good for Captain Marvel. I think because she's a cosmic character,
yeah,
or Thor.
yeah, we're uh we're probably getting Adam Warlock in the third Guardians movie.
If that happens. I mean, they've been teasing that for all along. Like
Yeah,
20.
I have a feeling Gunn's gonna like
Do something. Well,
pull
yeah,
that in. Yeah,
yeah. I forgot he did tease that in
he's
Volume
teased
Two.
it twice now. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, you think he's gonna be the main villain? Because that's something that's not like straight out of like a possibility. I think Alan Moore could be the villain for next movie.
could be. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
Excited to see it though.
yeah, true. Uh, and the Will, one thing I do want to mention, folks, I actually finished season one of Agent of Shield.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yes, I will say I enjoy it. I think now I'm into season two right now, folks. I'm like up to episode 3 and 4. I think
Okay.
I'm up to the episode. I met Mr. Faust, the Hydra agent that does the mind controlling thing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we get to okay. I was at episode 3, making friends and influence people. That's where I left out.
Okay.
Oh no. My last episode is Face Miami. That was the last one I saw recently. That's where Agent 33 like disguised as May, and then of course a General Tablet.
Yeah.
And so and then of course the Stinner Rain is later confronted by Whitehall, and then
Mm-hmm.
forces her to get the inhuman object. So
Obelisk.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oh man.
I just
I
yeah.
I love the Inhuman storyline on that show.
I'm I'm curious. I'm very excited to just get to that
Yeah.
because especially the father. I'm like
Mm-hmm.
now like I know he was in here, but like I'm like excited to see the movie. So
Yeah.
yeah. I am also concerned. Like, does one of these main characters die? In the mid-season finale. Uh,
I mean, I'm not gonna
uh,
say
okay.
anything about.
Just like okay, like so far, my favorite characters. Well, Agent Ward, despite how he has become after season one,
Mm-hmm.
May Coulson, and then oh my God, Trip. That's his name.
Trip. Trip.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he was my favorite character,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I love him too.
oh my God, I love him, and I hope he stays here forever. But
Uh-huh.
I have a gut feeling because we have Mac here as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like Mac as well, but
Mac is great. Oh
yeah,
man, you're gonna grow to love Mac, I think. Um,
I will say I mean I appreciate Mac helping Simmons with his condition and his trauma that he's going through.
Fitz, yeah.
Yeah, Fitz. Oh, sorry,
It's
Fitz.
they're designed so you confuse their names all the time. That's
Oh
like
my
intentional.
God,
So yeah. Um,
God,
yeah. Yeah,
um,
no, Mac is great.
yeah.
Um,
So it's great. And I Lance is okay. At least he's funny. I actually like his humor a lot. I do love the running gag about his like the team teasing about his wife backstory, like in episode 4 or the face and enemy, where like, oh, this time this my wife is horrible, that, and then I love the Mac. Like I had 2 awesome exes. That's such a great line. That was like my laughed out moment when
Yeah.
I heard that. So great. Yeah, and and there was one mixed thing about the season premiere, but we'll get to that when we do the season 2 podcast. Um,
Mhm.
Weird. I mean, I every movie does these kind of bizarre left field, whatever you want to call it. But overall, I'm been enjoying season 2. Um, I like the thematic of the team right now. With
Mhm.
what's going on. And like the whole Hydra versus Shield thing. That was something I really wanted to see in the movies. That I think
Mhm.
this show is like getting what I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like Age of Ultron's opening, and like that was it. Like
Mhm.
especially just taking out Strucker and all that. So, and I mean, it's weird because we got was it Val in the movies now, and like, is it Hydra back again? Like, um,
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, she's not always Hydra. Sometimes
yeah,
she's just
yeah,
like working for the government.
okay.
Um,
I hope so.
but
Is that around?
yeah, I don't know. I like having Hydra around.
Yeah, I
But
like Hydra. I I don't know. Like after Age of Ultron, like, do you want to get it? Like,
I
want want them back again? Like,
I think I want them in like smaller doses.
hmm,
I mean I want this show basically. Um, but
right?
oh man, I miss this show.
Yeah. Well, at least you have me watching it, and we can probably
Yeah,
soon do a
we can talk
podcast. So,
about it.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So we have 2 more weeks of What If, which is good.
Hmm.
And then I think afterwards, when episode 9 drops, I say drops, we can do like a Agent of Shield podcast. Now that I'm finished with season 1, and
Yeah.
like we could go through uh, more detail of the characters' arcs and favorite episodes, worst episodes. Which I don't think I have like the worst episodes in my mind. It's like few,
Yeah.
which is good.
I don't know. I feel like season one, there are a few that I mean, I haven't, it's been a while since I've seen it, but like early season one, where they were still finding their footing, there's some that aren't as good as the rest of the show. But
Yeah. I will say, I guess properly watching the first season. Weakest one has to be Yes Man. Um,
okay. Yeah.
for me. Um, and then the well, I think those two are like the least. Like those are
Okay.
my least favorites for me.
Yeah. I'm looking at a list of the episodes now, and it's probably those two or like uh I Spy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember that one that well though. Like
Okay.
or like I don't know. The Asset. I remember really liking it at the time, but it doesn't really pay off as much as I wanted it to.
Yeah,
Um,
like I think I know why, because of this one center character that is a comic book character, and
yeah,
I heard they re uh capitalized that in season 5, right? Because I know.
yeah, they they do come back to it, but
Okay,
I don't know. It's
I'm curious to see that, like how it is. Um, yeah, I Spy I like the most because of Coulson. I think I like that, and like his connection with the Porsche. Um, I'm trying to work. What else that was like kind of yeah. I think because see that is interesting because it helped us set up the like it's kind of like it's a non um what's the word non important episode. What's the word? Non
um
at first it's not as
Yeah,
important, but until it is with the clairvoyant and stuff.
right.
Like that's the thing about I Spy. It's like it's actually an important episode because of the thing they're saying. Like it's like I'm actually am very impressed about like one thing comparing this to other superhero shows, like the Arrowverse and Legion. They do a good job of picking up leftovers and threads that they set
Hmm.
up and they pay
Yeah,
off. So
yeah,
and that they pay off very well in the mid-season finale of
yeah.
AP-7.
And what's nice about later seasons, like for sure in season 4, but I feel like it really started in season 3. Um, they stop having those like monster of the week type episodes.
Yes.
Um, and it just turns into like a serialized story, which I think really helps it. Um,
Yeah. And I see that more in season 2.
yeah, maybe it started then.
Well, they do a better job with the Monster of the Week thing than Arrowverse, honestly, for me personally.
Yeah,
Because I don't know, the weird thing about the Arrowverse, they don't properly like it's kind of weird. They don't like plan through their season arcs, and it's not like a show like Legion where they do plan it out and it's like consistent throughout, or
hmm,
like Agent of Shields where there's like a through line throughout the season.
right,
Um, this one is much more better with that. Well, and each of the monsters are connected to what is going on.
right. Which is how it should be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
the hub, the one episode where what is it? The like the Shatari helmet and or that's
Uh,
the different one.
that's uh, the
Uh,
one before it was the one with the Chitauri helmet. I
yeah.
like that one for like character reasons though.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah, that's true. It had my favorite like ward moment. Like,
mm,
you're right. See, I tell you, there's few that I dislike from this show, and that's a good thing.
yeah, no, I mean they're all um, the showrunners are just so good at what they do. I wonder if they're working on anything now.
Let me see.
I don't see anything on Wikipedia. Um,
Just yeah, it's just Agent Shield. Hopefully they're developing something in the background.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and I guess I will say I actually really enjoyed. And it's no surprise with the second half, like the part B of Agents of Shield season 1 is the Hydra thing. I
hmm,
really enjoyed that. I think they delivered it very well, and I really like uh, Fitz, not Gemma. We said that.
yeah. Um,
um,
I think Fitz is my favorite character in the MCU.
mm,
Um,
okay.
yeah. Oh man, I love him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, he has like an arc that is very interesting. I
Hmm.
think. Um,
And Ian DeCastiger. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name, but oh
yes,
man, he can act.
yes,
I don't think you've like seen him like really get into it yet, but oh man, like I he needs to be in more things because he's so good. I'm just like waiting
yes,
for his career to take off.
yes. I hope so. He's really good. And Gemma's the actress Elizabeth Henstridge. She's
Yeah,
good too. I really
yeah,
enjoy
she
her.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I like Gemma too. I have no dislike of any character.
yeah. That's
I
the thing that the Whedons are always good at.
Yeah,
There's never a character that I hate. I'm always like really attached to all of them.
that's true. Yeah, I do. It was kind of interesting seeing my mom in her reaction.
Right, 'cause she didn't like May for a while, right?
Yeah, she's kind of cold on her still.
Okay.
When Ward was revealed to be a Hydra agent, that like surprised her and like disliked him more. And he's like, I don't like this anymore.
Uh,
And I mean, it's a bold move for them to do that. I mean,
yeah.
I think I think personally it does bring more interesting levels because I know a couple people mentioned at first he's a very typical like he's like a no nonsense like leading man type, but then when we get to the Hydra stuff and his relationship with John Garrett, it's actually
Mhm.
was interesting. And by the way, I love Bill Paxton in this.
Yeah. Oh man, so good in that role.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a criticism, but I mean, I laughed at it, but at the same time, I was like, oh, why he did that? Like, when he came back from life
Mhm.
after, like, supposedly Deathlock kills him,
Yeah.
and then he was alive, and then of course he was not, and then he got into the suit and was like, oh my god, and then Coulson kills him. I was like, oh my god. So, yeah, um, yeah, that's yeah. I'm very surprised about that. Yeah, and I was concerned about what is it? I also like speaking more on uh Tipple. Oh my god,
Triplet.
Triplet. Weird last name.
Antoine Triplet. Yeah.
Yeah, Anton Triplet. I love his chemistry with Gemma. I
Mhm.
really like that. Uh, and I really like that, and I think he's the best new asset in the Agent of Shield group. I also love his chemistry with Sky. Sky, I definitely like more now. Um,
Yeah, she gets a lot better like after season 1.
yeah.
Um
Um,
yeah.
I did like her in the first half. I think with the current variant connecting to her, and then I I liked her actually throughout the season. I didn't have any problem with her. I think that the showrunners did a good job of saying up things about her for this season. I know, but also
Mhm.
developing her in this season, which is good. But yeah, I really like Sky now, and yeah, and I like those two combination, her and Triplet, and I think that's interesting as well. What else? What are characters I'm forgetting? I mean, oh, everyone's good. I mean,
Yeah. Um did you say like do you like Hunter? You met Hunter yet?
Lance Hunter, right?
Yeah.
I, I, I like him. Like he's not my favorite characters. Not yet.
Okay.
I, I,
Yeah.
I'm kind of cold, man, right now.
Yeah. I think the next episode um is more like it has more with Hunter's backstory. It'll probably grow on you there. But
Okay.
yeah. He was actually supposed to get a spin-off at one point, and he leaves the
Yes.
show to do that, and then they didn't pick up the show, and I'm
I,
still mad about it.
yes, I know we are talking about most wanted, right?
Yeah.
Shield's most wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, like, at this point, people like Agent Shields. Like, I think second season, third, like, got more better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think. I mean, ABC was kind of cold on trying to build like a universe within Agent of Shield, where the other areas like Netflix and Hulu, like there was more comfortable doing that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm shocked that they did Cloak and Dagger crossover to Runaways. So
Yeah.
yeah, So this, I mean, despite they had crossovers after season two, I know that's really it because I know like I and speaking of crossovers, I did like the episode with Mary Hill. I liked that she was in the show.
Mm-hmm.
That episode I really liked from from her, and love to see Fury here. I really liked him in the final episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think they both show up one more time. each, I think. Well, maybe. How many times has Fury showed up? You might be out. You might have already seen every Fury appearance.
Two.
Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I think he did 2 appearances in season 1, but Maria Hill has one in season 2 as well.
Okay, that's good. Yes, he only has 2 appearances in Agents of Shield. And Hill, yeah, she's here a couple of times.
Hmm.
3 episodes of Agent of Shield, and then what? Yeah. Also, what about Blake? Like, are they gonna bring back Blake by any chance?
Uh,
Or he just died and they forgot about him?
Wait, I'm forgetting who Blake is.
Oh, Felix Blake was a Shield agent. Um, he is a
Oh, yeah, from the movies.
yeah. He
Yeah,
was like one
he's
shot and
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, played by Titus Welliver.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
the
no,
one.
he comes back. He has like a whole arc in season 3 or 4.
Okay. Okay, he comes back yet. 3 more episodes he comes back.
Uh,
Yeah. Um. Okay. So he comes back in third season, I think.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Very curious. All right. That's cool. Yeah. So I think I think that's all I can say. I want to save more for the podcast. So I, to kind of give you what's my my best thing about the show and then the worst thing about the show. So I
Okay.
will give that in the whole entire Agent of Shield podcast
All right.
when we get
Sounds
done with
good.
when we're done with What If. And it's gonna be fast. I mean, it's gonna be 2 weeks, so that's good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anything else we have to say, Will, about this
This
very
episode that we
yeah
barely.
we're barely
Uh,
talked about? Like
I'm good to move on from this one.
yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
want to forget about this completely. Yeah, I would say I'm actually kind of happy. I saw Agent News this week, and then just seeing this, I was like, oh wow,
Hmm. Yeah, it's a step down.
yeah, step down. Very disappointing episode. I think this is like I there was like it wasn't like as cold as the zombies one for me, but
Okay.
like I think this was like the most disappointing execution of a idea. What if? I,
Okay. I'm disappointed by the first episode,
okay,
but
that makes sense. Yeah, first one is a little rough. Yeah, like good
yeah.
idea for like making Ichikar be Captain
No,
Britain.
I love the idea. Yeah, it's the how much I love the idea versus how disappointed I was by the execution. That ratio
Yes,
is greatest for the first episode.
yeah,
Um,
I think that one had more heart for me. Like it had more heart than this one had.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I definitely feels like they like believed in what they were doing more for the first episode than for this one.
Yeah,
So I'll give you that.
yeah, because that's my issue with this episode. It's like they didn't
Yeah.
even try, and like it insults me. It's an individual. Oh god, yeah. So
Yeah.
thing is, we're gonna see each other tomorrow to
Hmm.
enjoy this weekend on a special trip. We're going to uh, uh a we're me and Will are going to time travel. That's gonna be cool, guys. And discover multiverse and all of that, just like what Marvel is doing right now. So yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Will, for uh chatting with me for this crazy Friday we have.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep, yep. Yeah, so everyone, thank you for listening to this podcast. Me and Will be back with What If episode 8. Hopefully, the next episode will be good. I'm sorry, folks, about this tantrum me and Will had. We did not like this episode. You know, just post a comment what you thought about this episode. Be kind of curious. Anyway, have a nice day and hit that subscribe.